is passing through. Yeah, I and I keep it cool. Welcome, family. Thank you so much for joining us on the Blackout Financial Africa Rhythm Scripture. I hope that you're all doing fantastic. And of course, this is the 8th day of the month of November, the year 2021. I hope that you are keeping safe and you're all doing well on this month of November, where we are almost wrapping up the year 2021. You know, some people might think of 2021 as a year it has been tough, but there are some positives. They always keep on saying that every cloud has a silver lining, and you can also look at the positives. Some people might say, oh, I was laid off at work, oh, I actually did close my job because of this whole pandemic, I actually did this and that, which are all negatives, but there is always one positive thing that you can also get to look into and also celebrate that as well. My name is Spikes, and this is a Rhythm Scoop Show. Do see Sister Michelle is with us. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. That is a Sister Michelle Elsbear saying good morning all. Good morning to you too. We do have the Rhythm Scoop Show on the Blackout Financial, and this is Spikes alongside my co-host Kate and Joby.
Yebo, karibuni sana right here on the Blackout Radio Media for the 21st century. This is the Rhythm Scoop Show. Once again, bringing you another episode about entertainment, art, and culture. And you know what it's all about. You can speak to us, communicate to us through our social media handles. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on Instagram. Sorry about that, but you know, we're just having some a little bit funny moments. But yeah, as I said, we are live and interactive on our social media handles. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on Instagram. You can also give us a call +2547544023730. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and of course, we're looking forward to having an amazing program right here on the Rhythm Scoop Show, and we're looking forward to also interact with you. My name is Joby Karibuni Sana.
Yes, karibuni sana to our show for today. My name is Kate, in case you forgot my name. And
how would someone forget your name?
Okay, my name is Kate. Karibuni sana to our show for today, and I hope you had an amazing weekend and you enjoyed it. So karibuni sana once again to our show for today. This is the Rhythm Scoop Show, where we get to vibrate with the positive vibes and to share some positive energy with you. So welcome, and feel free to interact with us. You can tell us how you're feeling about the show.
Yeah, and you know, no, actually, I wondered why none of you asked me what Yebo means. No one asked me.
Yebo means yes from South Africa. Everyone knows.
Oh, okay. I thought they did.
And we are glad to be with you on the Blackout Financial Rhythm Scoop Show, being on the 8th day of the month of November, the year 2021. Thank you so much. We play some music all the way from the Caribbean, and that is Jacua. The name of the song is, let me just get to confirm it for you. I don't want to just mess up the name of the song because it's actually jamming. And
I say 1, 2. I'm about to knock Kate out again. 1, 2.
That was a Jackie right there, and of course, I hope that you all jamming. I'm just trying to get the name of that the song.
And he was some time back accused of stabbing someone. I don't know if it is true.
When was that?
But a month ago, actually in October, he was accused that he had stabbed someone, and he was supposed to face, the allegations, and get some charges out of it. But I hope that everything is going okay. Jackia has always been the best of the best when it comes to the reggae music, and of course, Africans love the reggae music. As I said way back, reggae music, I think it reflects to the African history. Let me just say the African history, because if you listen to in terms of Lucky Dube, Bunny Spear, Bob Marley, and a lot of more of artists from Jamaica, they have spoken about the African history and how the colonies and the matters of the colony, how we Africans are supposed to elevate in a way and escape the we get freedom, because as much as we are colonized, we still do not have freedom.
We are uncolonized. As much as we are uncolonized, we do not have the freedom. But thank you so much for being with us on the Blackout Financial. I want to take us all the way into African countries that are actually on the equator, because if you get to check out where Africa is placed, and also on the map, you will find that the 254, which is also known as Kenya, is actually placed on the equator. And earlier on Kate and Joby's show, Kate was talking about how we do have to switch time for the countries that get to experience the winter, but on the continent of Africa, we do not have that severe kinds of weather conditions. And I realized that we do have some of the best weather in the world. If anyone is looking for the perfect weather, perhaps you might find it, quote unquote perfect, you might find it right here on the continent of Africa, in countries that are lying on the equator. I believe they are countries that do have some of the best climate and some of the best weather any time of the year. You might be talking about July, when people presume that Kenya is very cold. It's not very cold. If you compare Kenya in July and maybe countries that experience the winter, you will find that Kenya is not any cold. But I want to share with us some of the countries that are crossed by the winter. The winter, of course, is a line that divides the globe, into two. We have the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, but we have countries that are considered to be in the middle. That's right there at the center. And these countries are 6 countries where the equator crosses. One of them happens to be Gabon, which is in West Africa. We also do have Congo, which is the Congo Brazzaville, the smaller Congo. I like to call it the smaller Congo, or Congo Brazzaville. We also do have the bigger Congo, which is known as the Democratic Republic of Congo. It also lies on the equator. So if you go to the Congo, you would experience some of the best weather. And apart from experiencing some of the best weather, Congo is also known to be the second land. We consider that the world has 2 lungs. They get to purify the air that you do get to breathe. And these are 2 lungs. One of them is the Amazon forest, and also we do have the Congo forest in the DRC Congo. So those are places that have some of the best weather around them, and also they are able to purify what you do get to take in as fresh air. And we are also thankful to those 2 countries. But apart from the Congo and the DRC, we also do have Uganda. It lies on the equator. We do have Kenya, which is the 254. It also lies on the equator. Let me just also get to engage at Kate and Nzobe. The town that lies on the equator, maybe for Kate and Nzobe, which town lies on the equator?
Nanyuki.
Nanyuki actually lies on the equator. So it's one of the most renowned towns that you can actually go to. Unfortunately, Joby and Kate have been talking about something happening in the equator, and this has to do with where the barracks, the British soldiers unit are actually based. They are based in Nanyuki, which lies on the equator. That is where we do have the Batuk, or the British Army Training Unit in Kenya. And they have been accused of getting involved with crimes, and they are never held accountable for the crimes they commit against the Kenyan people, which is now why the Kenyans are also complaining and also going out and showing out the grievances. But apart from Kenya, we do have one more country lying on the equator. I believe Joby might guess, or Kate might guess it.
Somalia.
Yeah, Somalia also actually happens to lie on the equator, and those are the 6 countries on the continent of Africa that do have relatively wonderful weather. I know Somalia is crazy when it comes to the heat. In Somalia, you might also get experiencing the hot weather right there if you ever get to Somalia. But that's a little bit of what is happening. But
I think despite us Africans having the best weather, rather lying on the equatorial line, I think also there is some fictions which I've also seen on the news today, where that the African climate is somehow affected, and they are putting some negative energy about it. And of course, I'll be giving you some highlights about it. That is after maybe a short musical break. But for now, we have more news bringing up unto you. And of course, as we said, this is the Rhythm Sculpture about entertainment, art and culture. Not only focused on the negative things that are happening in Africa, we also have some positive vibration that we are bringing right to you in the Rhythm Sculpture, right on the Black Oak Network Media for the 21st century.
Yeah, now this is a short music break. We hope that you get to enjoy. We shall be right back with some more wonderful vibes.
Anima,
Yes, and that is one and only Starkey Dakos are coming all the way from Nigeria, representing for the Massive. I think that is one of the most banging songs right here on the Black Hot Network Rhythm Scoop Show. I don't know what you guys think about Starkey Dakos.
He is amazing. He is amazing. He has an amazing talent, and of course, one of the jams that I love is Greedy. Yeah, do get to play me Greedy, because that is one of the most amazing jams that I think is really. He did the most, you know. And of course, when you speak of greediness, I think, ladies, I keep on saying this on my show and of course on every show, I think greedy is mostly used on the ladies. Like, men think we're greedy, you know, when it comes to terms of money. But yo, you know, no love without finances, I keep on saying.
So,
no love without finances.
Aren't the ladies greedy?
No, we're not greedy. We need, you as a man, you need to like, how do what is the word? I don't know the word to put it, but you need to like sustain me. You need to keep me on the go. You need to
sustenance.
You need to sustain me. Like, you need to, like, you know.
I know. For one thing, men ought to protect, and also they ought to provide.
Exactly.
And they also need to
provide
profess.
For your lady.
They also need to profess, but that is an ideal situation. You might think of an ideal situation, because an ideal situation is where everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen, but. These are real world, and things do not happen ideally, which is a problem. But yes, men are supposed to protect and also profess and also to provide. But we're not living in an ideal world. We are living in a world which is actually upside down. Which is
what do you mean by upside down?
Upside down. Of course, everything has been turned upside down. Everything is top. For example, as the black people, you're the bottom. Everywhere you go on the continent, in the world, we're supposed to be at the top. But now the way everything has been set up, we are actually. Everything is upside down. Even the maps and everything else has been set up upside down.
But you need to, you as an individual, to uplift yourself. You know, like you as an African person, we might be generally as African people being like, you know, down looked on, but you need you as a general person. Me as Joby, you as Pikes, you as Kate, you as General Mosquito, you as Keith, you as Sister Michelle, Stacy. You need to uplift yourself and make you look like, you know.
Everyone is uplifted in their own small way. People actually uplifted in their own different ways. But this is a Black Hot Network Rhythm Scoop Show. We hope that you are entertained and you also keeping with us right here on the Black Hot Network. I was saying that Starkey Dakos happens to be one of the most talented acts coming from the African continent. I will be sharing with you some new ones that he has put out recently, and I hope that you also get to enjoy that particular one. We shall be talking about different things, and I want to take us all the way to Sao Tome and Principe. I am not sure whether Kate and Joby has an idea whether Sao Tome and Principe is that.
No, I don't.
As we do have a Sao Tome and Principe is actually an island country. Most of the island countries on the continent of Africa, they are not really much known, and which is the problem that we do have right here. People really are not really much interested with what is happening with Sao Tome and Principe, with Madagascar, with Mauritius, with all these other island countries on the continent. They are sort of, when you're getting taught African history or even African geography, or even anything to do with African people, do not really consider Sao Tome and Principe to be really part and parcel of the continent. But the Sao Tome and Principe is an island nation close to the equator. It is part of the volcano chain featuring striking rock and coral formations, rainforests and beaches. On the larger island, Sao Tome is the Laguna Azul Lagoon. The Ogu National Park, a biodiverse jungle preserve, covers much of Sao Tome and is distinguished by Picao Grande. And then we do have a Principe on the other side. They are like two islands. One of them is Sao Tome, and then you also do have Principe. So they come together and they form what we do call Sao Tome and Principe, which is one African country, but it's an island nation. If you get to ask people what happens on Sao Tome and Principe, no one has an idea. But for Mauritius, most people know what happens in Mauritius because it's a good destination for people who are trying to go do their, for example, honeymoon. And it's really a place where tourists are really attracted to go and see what's good with that. But I want to share with us some interesting facts about Sao Tome and Principe. And before we get into more matters of what is current and what we can do to unify our African people, and what are some of the basic truths and the basic necessities that we need to get to address before African people get to unite. One of them is the matter of Sao Tome and Principe, and I want to get into some basic facts or some wonderful facts about Sao Tome and Principe. One of them is the geography of Sao Tome and Principe. The country, Sao Tome and Principe, is made up of two archipelago islands just off the western coast of Central Africa. The two islands are Sao Tome and the other one is known as Principe, respectively. they have a combined population of about 202,000 people. So it's not really that big. But you know what used to happen? Let me also take us all the way back into African history. What used to happen is that sometimes back, we did have an island off the Indian Ocean. We did have an island off the Indian Ocean, and someday people used to go get off the island, get on a boat or get on whatever means they used to get on, and go do some fishing or go to some hunting elsewhere. They used to go look for food elsewhere. So there were not a big population. There was some young population, a small population that used to live on the island of the archipelago of one of the archipelago of the Indian Ocean, and they used to leave the island in the morning and they would come back in the evening because that's their home.
Okay.
So, but the British decided to take their home. Once they left, the British came in and took their home, and then when they were coming back, they were told, no, you can get back on your island.
You know,
and then after that, the island was given to the USA as a token.
You know, this relates to the story that you shared with me in the morning. Was like, I didn't know that Uhuru first, like no, not Uhuru, but Kenyatta, the first president of Kenya. I didn't know that he did disown the Mau Mau like people.
He did.
And yeah, I didn't know about that. I was really shocked, and it made me like do more research on it, like doing much details, like digging more details onto it. How is it that we acquired freedom when he had accepted the British whatever rule, you know? And also it also comes back to the same rule whereby we as Africans, especially someone explained to me better, like, you know, there is like Uhuru, after him getting freedom, like after him being appointed as the Prime Minister of Kenya, because that is what he had first, right? After after him destroying the Mau Mau kingdom, he was like appointed like the Prime Minister of Kenya and stuff. Then after that, he was given some lands which he was supposed to divide among the Kenyan people, but which brings
we not divide that money.
He did
by himself.
Yeah, he didn't. Which brings me to the thought where I've seen so many lands where people point at me, like if I'm walking somewhere new and I'm like, you know, I've seen a certain land which is so big in the Ruiru Road, you know, like you're going to the bypass.
It's
like
called north. It's called north what? There's a name.
Northern bypass. The northern bypass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so like a big land, a very big land, and I was like, wow. So these lands were given by the British. Like
they were not given, they were originally our own. You cannot be given something yours.
They were
so
our
I
own.
cannot come and take something from you, then give it to you.
They were our
You're not
own.
giving me
They were our own, but he
belong
was
to
given
me.
the privilege of, like, you know, you need to divide this thing amongst your people, of which he didn't.
What?
And that is why you see the Uhuru, the Kenyattas have the biggest lands.
That's even
but
a
they
whole
have so
different
many
story.
lands in
That's even
Kenya.
a whole different story. But
You know?
I agree to some point what you're saying. You're saying that the Kenyatta was put in there as
Into
the first
power,
president in
yeah.
power via devious means. You know, he was put there as a puppet.
Yeah.
So the lands that the colonizers had taken, they were given back to Kenyatta, and then the other lands were you know, some of the lands was given back to people, but most of the land was taken back by Kenyatta.
Exactly.
So he was not given land. That was African land owned by the African people, but it was given out to a few individuals, a few families. Yeah, they took it. But what did happen is that Kenyatta did not send out the first president of Kenya did not send out the colonizers. You still have the Lamea owning a very piece of land in Nakuru. You still have what do you call these people who grow the pineapples in Thika? Del Monte. They still run their big company. I don't know what. We still have Kakuzi, which is also owned by white people, and all these other lands owned by white people. So you cannot say that Kenyatta got them. He was just a puppet, and people are now waking up and realizing, oh, wait a minute, this is what was happening. But nonetheless, family, shall take a short music break. But before we do, I have a story about the Chagos Island. The Chagos Island was what I was talking about earlier. It's an island off the Indian Ocean. The Chagos Archipelago, or the Chagos Island, is a group of 7 atolls comprising of more than 60 islands in the Indian Ocean, about 500 kilometers southeast of the Maldives Archipelago. Maldives is also another place where people go for honeymoons. Maldives, even Zanzibar. If you tell me about Zanzibar and Tanzania, I would say, sorry, Zanzibar and Tanganyika. Before we did have Tanzania, there were 2 different countries. So Tanzania is a combination of 2 things, Tanganyika and Zanzibar. So we have Tanzania. But before we did have Tanganyika and Zanzibar coming together, we did have Zanzibar on its own. And Zanzibar can be compared to like the Maldives archipelago, because it was also a place where the Arabs and other people used to go and have their own, you know, fun time and you know, just like honeymoons and things like that. But what I wanted to bring attention to is that the Chagos Island was taken over by the British, and then they gave it away to the US as like they wanted to get like a commodity or a product from the US. So they said, instead of us paying, let us give you this island. So you come to Africa, take a piece of Africa, then give it up. It's like you can go to someone's house, you take their product, and then give it to another friend of yours because your other friend has something you want, so you trade with that. So this is what has been happening in the whole continent of Africa. Unless the African people wake up and demand back their own property, there will not be any change.
Just a quick question. I don't know if you know, like, if you go to Mombasa, then you're trying to get to the beach, then you get in the yacht, they're like, you know, if you want to tour more, you want to explore more of the beach, you have to get to the Zanzibar, yeah? Like the Zanzibar, like Diani, Zanzibar. I don't know.
No, Diani is it's a whole different place in Zanzibar. But
Tanzania is a comparison of Zanzibar, right?
Tanzania is made up of two, Tanganyika and Zanzibar. That's where the name came from. Tanzania is made up of two.
There was this Nobel Prize winner who wrote a book.
From Zanzibar.
Yeah, from Zanzibar. Then the question comes, which was really like, it got my attention, where like, we the African people just bringing the attention, whereby we the African people do not even know our
that guy even from Zanzibar, he was not even from there. He left Zanzibar when he was 12 years old. He went to the UK. That is why he has
which brings the question, like, why so many Africans have to leave Africa and go get attention from other places, but ukishajulikana, like, you whether when the internet gets to notice you, that is when you are recognized, like, you know, you came from this particular kind of certain
internet. I think they have an agenda with whatever they do not invest their attention or invest their time where they're not getting back up. They have an agenda with that.
So you mean to say that Zanzibar and Tanzania is a different place?
No, I'm saying Tanganyika na Zanzibar ziliungana zikaitwa Tanzania.
Okay.
Yeah, that is hiyo ndio ilifanyika. Yeah, na pia tukitambua kwa Kikamba. So that is what was happening now with that. So family, we shall be taking a short music break. When we come back, we shall be telling you about Sao Tome and Principe, and we shall also be telling you about what's happening with the whole situation in Unified Africa and what can be done. This is a new song by the one and only. Let me get this title of this particular song before we get nah, we with the Havana boy right here. This is Yawade.
of Burna Boy, if I'm not wrong. That was the first jam, the most popular jam.
Yeah, it did very good in the industry, and of course we do have some other bangers from Burna Boy. That is Yawade, and we hope that you're doing fantastic at 8 minutes to 5 p.m. right here in Nairobi. I don't know what time it is, where you are tuning from, but I do see General Mosquito. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. You're saying afternoon, everyone, and nice dashiki spikes. Yeah, I had to put on my dashiki. You know, we're talking about African culture, but you can never be on our point without having your dashiki at the end of the day. I don't know, but you know, everyone should also get to learn this so we can have the dashiki. It's not really a stereotype, but if you have your dashiki, then you're proud of your culture and where you're coming from and where you're going. But Robert Williams, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Asante sana, we always appreciate you.
Also to Dexter is saying Jumbo Spikes, and also to the
Zoe, we see you, Zoe. We see you, Zoe. I saw a joke, but I didn't read it.
He was like,
I saw a joke.
Hi to Jumbo Spikes and to the girl who knocked the other girl. Yeah.
No, like, it was. Let me just get it right if I could find it here.
Yeah.
Was it
the
taken
girl
down?
Who was knocked.
Yes, the Jumbo Spikes, Joby, and the girl
was knocked by Joby.
No, and the girl Joby knocked out. It's all good. It's all love, and we appreciate you so much.
I knocked out. She won't admit it, but it's true. General Mosquito, can you find this?
Jambo family.
Awekwe nini?
Inaitwa
aje?
Nitapewa.
So, but family,
whatever, man.
Yeah, family, we're glad to be with you right here with the Blackwood Furniture. And remember, you can stay interactive with us on our social media platforms. We are on Twitter at Blackwood Fire. We are also on Instagram, Black Hot Fire Network, and also on Facebook, Black Hot Fire Network Radio Station. In case you would also like to get us on our email, make sure you do so at blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com. Paul Raji, all the way from Zanzibar, Lusaka. Brother, I see you.
Hey,
I see the brother Paul Raji. And Joby has a message to Paul Raji.
Man, I've been waiting for you to turn onto this particular broadcast. I love your music, and we're hoping to see you soon to interview. Give an interview about your music, especially Manzi Nimekwara.
Manzi Nimekwara.
That is my favorite jam, Manzi, and I'm looking forward to interview you on this particular broadcast. Asante sana for joining us.
It's Nimekwara.
Manzi Nimekwara.
For Katie, what do you like to tell the Zambian brother?
I just want to say hi, and I'd love to meet you, Paul Raj.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Paul Raj, you receiving a lot of love right here on the Blackwood Financial. That's a brother from another mother, all the way from Lusaka, Zambia, and he's doing the most. I believe he has new music coming up. He has also a couple of concerts ready to get down in Lusaka, Zambia. Personally, I've never been to Lusaka, but I'm hoping maybe after I tour Tanzania, I might also be able to get an opportunity to go to Zambia. And after Zambia, the next country is Zimbabwe. After Zimbabwe, you just get into South Africa. And that's what's going down with
family.
the vibe.
He's manifesting our family.
It's with the vibe. So we shall be taking one jam, Nimakwara, and then talk about the axioms of African unity right here on the Black
Thank you for
Fire
joining
Network.
us. We appreciate you big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. ugali beauty, but it's all about vibes.
You carry beauty.
Oh, it's still ugali. Ugali beauty.
Yeah,
So you can't blame me. Well, you can't blame me.
Ugali.
Yeah, everyone is just thinking it's ugali.
Nah, hey, you need to ugali, yamani.
It's not ugali.
It's
not
kids
ugali.
trying to do some ugali and you're saying about ugali.
No, it's not ugali. The brother from South Africa is not talking about ugali. But nonetheless, family, welcome back to the Reading Scoop Show. I do see Robert Williams. Thank you so much. We also do have General Mosque, we also do have Paul Raj from
Did you guys just start the show?
No, we have been here for a minute. We've been here for a minute. Thank you for joining us. We've been here for a minute, like 30 minutes. So we are just getting.
Hi, Kate.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Someone just got knocked out.
Okay.
Someone just knocked.
I know. Katie's recovering from getting knocked out.
Just recovering. Yeah, she's even barely recuperated.
She's mad at me, but I knocked her out. She's just like
it's a music, it's a vocals. We're talking about for people who can sing. But Paul Rat, thank you so much. And also Keith for joining us from and also Paul Rat for joining us from Zambia. You say now water is medicine and looking lovely in the studio. Big up Asante Sana. Thank you so much, brother from Zambia. That is Paul Rat, an Afro pop artist who is doing the most in Zambia. And Keith, I think when we get from Tanzania, sometimes we might also like to go to Zambia. You know, we might also get organized because Paul Raj will be hosting us in Zambia. Paul Raj, can we get a place to have some ugali? Paul Raj, can we get a place to have some ugali and fish and the kienyeji chicken in
They call it ugali in Zambia.
They call it in Shima. I know already. I asked in Shima.
Okay.
They call it in Shima.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Shima.
Yeah, Shima. The ugali, it's the ugali for
in South Africa
Zambia.
as well. I'd love to Seppo can tell us if you can host us in
I'm
South
not sure
Africa.
Seppo is here with us today.
I'd love to come to South Africa, Manze. So bad.
I haven't
So
seen
bad.
him.
Something else.
I haven't seen him on the live. But what you can get from Seppo is can you hear me, kid?
Yeah, he was on Facebook.
Yeah, I remember I saw him. But today we are talking about something that did happen, kid. I had shared a story where the British kicked out the people of the Chagos Island. You know, there was an island off the Indian Ocean, and when the people left to go look for some food, the British came up and they took over the island from the people. And when the people got back in the evening, they were told, you know, you cannot get back to your homes. This is now our property, and you can go kick rocks anywhere else apart from here. You can go find some place else to be. Oh, that is like Tsepo is with us. You saying that you're here. Okay, I hadn't seen you early, brother.
Thank you, Tsepo. You see, I have the calling registration.
You knew he was with us.
Manifest.
But I was saying that there was an island. I have shared an article with us. Of what was happening. I think before Keith, the guest to connect, we shall also be going also. No, let me see where we are.
It's slow.
But I was saying that
Alright, stuff.
I want to share with us some facts.
So I'm really scared now.
What's that?
No, that. Let me see.
Not bad. 35 pages.
So I was talking about what did happen with the Chagos Island, and in 1965, Britain bought the Chagos Island for £3 million, which is about $4.1 million at the present rate, from Mauritius to form the British Indian Ocean Territory, which is known as the BIOT. Mauritius sold off the 65 island archipelago so it could gain independence 3 years later. It has since claimed the island as its territory. So what was happening is that some people have sold off their people. For example, Mauritius decided that it will not be needing the archipelago anymore, so the people of the island can be kicked out and they can go elsewhere and find their place to be. But between 1967 and 1973, about 2,000 indigenous Chagosanians were displaced from their tropical paradise homes to Mauritius and Seychelles, making way for the U.S. military base on the Chagos Island. It's known as Diego Garcia, a process undertaken in secrecy by the United Kingdom and the United States. The UK has said it will cede the territory to Mauritius when it is no longer needed for the defense purposes. But the problem is, you see the kind of evil that was done to these people. 2,000 people were kicked off the island They were told they could go live in Mauritius. They were told they could go live in Seychelles. But this island was bought by the British and then later given to the US military to be used as a military base. And you wonder what military, we have so many military bases on the continent of Africa. Some of them being in Djibouti, others right here in Kenya, others someplace in, I believe in Ethiopia we might have a base. Also in, I believe in South Africa they also have a base, and in other different African countries. I believe they're about maybe 30 foreign bases on the continent of Africa, which means like half of the continent we do have military bases are being based right here. But I want to share with us some interesting facts about Seychelles and Sao Tome and Principe, and then we shall talk about the matters of the day. Number one fact is that the country, Sao Tome and Principe, is made up of 2 archipelagos. I already talked about that. It has about 200,000 people. And apart from that, the Portuguese explorers colonized the islands from the 15th and the 16th century and converted the islands into central trading centers for transatlantic slave trade. So Sao Tome and Principe was used for trading slaves. Sao Tome and Principe was actually used for trading slaves between the 15th and the 16th centuries. The country gained its independence from Portugal in 1975. And of course, the official language is still Portuguese. If you go to Sao Tome and Principe, you shall still find them speaking in Portuguese. Let me also engage Kate and Azobi right here. What other countries do speak Portuguese were colonized by the Portuguese? Mozambique is one of the countries colonized by the Portuguese, and also Angola. Angola is also another country colonized by the Portuguese. And we also do have, is it Equatorial Guinea? I believe the Equatorial Guinea is also colonized by the Portuguese. But there are a few countries right here that are colonized by the Portuguese. So Sao Tome and Principe is one country. We also do have another interesting fact, which is the story of the flag. Sao Tome and Principe comprises of 3 horizontal lines: the color green, the yellow, and the green, and also 2 black stars.
Yeah, we have Brazil, and they have also Cape Verde.
Cape Verde, yeah, Cape Verde. Oh, okay. It's also another. Okay. So the music of Sao Tome and Principe is also the residents of the island Sao Tome and Principe are known for popularizing 2 music styles, the Ususua and also the Sokop rhythms. And apart from that, we also talk about the Sodade. The country is mentioned by the Cape Verdean singer Cesaria Evora in one of her most celebrated songs, the Sodade. And so they are colonized by the same people.
Guinea-Bissau, we have also Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau? Oh, that was Guinea-Bissau, not Equatorial Guinea. Then those
and
are some of the countries.
East Timor.
East Timor is off the continent. It's not on the continent.
Oh, okay.
But
so we have like Cape Verde, Angola, Mozambique, Brazil, Sao Tome
and Principe.
Yeah, and Equatorial Guinea.
Kid, can you hear me? I think you need to unmute your microphone, or maybe it's on my end. Let me see.
Kid, can you hear us?
I'm just trying to confirm. Kid, can you hear me? Let me try to get you on the line again in a second.
Okay.
Shepo Simono, Sepos.
Alright, man, you hung up on the start.
No, I thought you were handling some
You
business there.
said damn, my ass.
No, we were not hearing you.
I think that was the microphone or something. So, Kid, let me ask you something.
Yeah, go ahead, ask me something.
I want to ask you about Sao Tome and Principe. Do you think this particular country can still get to regain its prominence, on the African stage? This is an island country. It's like Madagascar. Sao Tome and Principe. Sao Tome and Principe. It's an island country of the African.
I've never heard of it. Wow.
It is. It's an African country known as Sao Tome and Principe. It's an African island nation close to the equator. It's part of the volcano chain featuring striking rock and the coral formation, and it's somewhere.
Where is that?
It's very close. It's very close to Cape Verde.
For the first time I heard you, Kid, you don't know about it.
Okay, Cape Verde. Okay. Oh, okay. So. Is that part of the archipelago or something?
Yes, it is. It was colonized by the Portuguese.
Yeah.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
It's a Portuguese.
Portuguese colony.
Yeah. So
I don't know much about it. Go ahead.
It's very, very close to Equatorial Guinea. There are a couple of islands, but I don't know if you heard about the story which had to do with the islands, the island country of Mauritius, and also the Chagos Island. The Chagos Island was taken over by the British. You know, when people went to look for food, the British came in and took over the island, and then they told everyone else you can go and look for another place to stay. And then the island was given to the US by the British.
Was it renamed? Is it over by
the Indian Ocean off Mauritius?
Diego?
The archipelago near.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over by
the Indian Ocean, Mauritius.
What's it called? Yeah, also over by Diego. Diego something over there. I know how you're talking about.
Yeah. So that one was actually taken over, and it's like anyone can just have any property. It's known as Diego Garcia right now. They call it the Diego Garcia.
Diego Garcia, that's the name of Diego. I kept saying Diego something. Yeah. Diego Garcia, that's what I was trying to say.
They told them go kick rocks. They went looking for food in the morning. When they came back in the evening, they were told you can get busy. This is now our property.
You can hit the road.
That was in between.
That's what white people do.
This was 1967 and 1973. It was actually sold, and the word is placed. Between 1967 and 1973, they were taken out of the island, and the British took it over. And then the British gave it to the US because they wanted to get a ship. I think they wanted to get one of the
base.
Yeah, they wanted to get a base. But the British were given a warship. I think they were given a warship for the trading of this island. Let me see what they got. I believe they might have got.
They didn't even own spikes.
Yeah, it wasn't theirs. So you're giving out property that is not yours. Diego Garcia. What did they get?
I give it out because I'm white.
What did the British? Let me see. What did the British do? The British exchange.
There's a video I wanted to share with you too.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can send it to
I send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. I send it to you on the messenger or WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
I want to see this video, and you clearly see, because you keep talking about Colombia, where the Colombians know that they came from. So there's no travel. They came from Nigeria, Mozambique, Congo, Angola, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Tanzania. They clearly see. You can clearly see African people emerged. The common language that they had to all learn was Swahili, because they all didn't know each other's language.
Yeah.
They tried. But they all had to learn with Portuguese, because the Portuguese are one running around Africa spiping their ass up.
I think you're covering your microphone. I don't know what's happening with your microphone. I think your voice is getting low than high again. I think you're covering your microphone or something. Something happening in the microphone.
Oh, is my voice getting low?
No, you're good. You're good now. You covered your microphone.
Yeah.
Come again?
Yeah, I was just saying. It's amazing. If you take African people off the continent, they learn to get rid of the tribalism. They knew that they were from different parts of Africa. And as they got off the continent, the guy said, we know we're from Angola, Congo, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, parts of Tanzania. But, of course, no one practiced no tribalism. You had to unite as one people in Colombia.
You can share the video on our
message. You couldn't play tribal games.
You can share the video on message.
I'll send it to you now.
Okay. You can share the video.
Okay, I'm sending it to your message.
Okay, message. So, family, I want to thank Shepo Simono and also Sister Donna C. You're saying hello, Blackwood family. And I think you people are also a bit up early. I'm not sure whether it's early, but I want to thank you so much for taking your time to join us on the show. I understand right now the time.
Hey, Paul.
The time in
all the people. Can we keep on trying? I'm at Kate and Joe was saying not people. I need
to we're losing you, but I hear what you're saying. I could hear in bits what you're saying about them knocking people out, but I could not hear you well.
I said I was talking about them knocking out the Asians.
I don't want to get Katie mad because she doesn't want me to. She doesn't want me to admit the fact that I'm not
The Asian was really good with that. But nonetheless, family, I want to thank Paul Raj. You say no much from Lusaka, Zambia. I'm enjoying the program. Sepo Simona Sao Tom is ghostly. The slave trade was brutal. And I also sister, sorry, John Musiri saying afternoon donor. And also who else? Paul Raj, you say now water is medicine. So Nimakwara is water. From Azibambo, I think Nimakwara is water. So if I'm not mistaken. Paul Raj, what does Manzi Nimakwara? Manzi is water? Manzi is Maji. Yeah, Manzi is water. Manzi is water, I believe. So Manzi is water. You say now is water is medicine. So Manzi Nimakwara is medicine. So water is medicine. So we already figured at least that bit of the song, and we shall continue playing a little bit more of that. But family, before we continue with the show, I want to take us a little bit way back into the topic of the day. And today we are discussing about the axioms of African unity. And these are truths or the necessities that we can get to involve ourselves with to be able to achieve African unity. First and foremost, I don't know if Katie and Joby would agree that one of the things that hinders African unity is tribalism, right here on the African continent. For example, people want to see themselves as Kikuyu, as Kambas, as Kisis, as all these different communities. In Kenya, we have 47 tribes. So everyone wants to see themselves as a different tribe, which is like superior. You know, people want to be on a pedestal where they all felt as superior. But we need to break down these levels of tribalism and also engage ourselves. Right now, I'm getting to enjoy the fact that when it comes to naming of children, people are right now living their traditional names. You know, they would say, I am Nyamawat or I am this and that. They would now leave those names and
No.
Let me tell you something about that Spice real quick.
Yeah.
I love Jovita's name, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of that cornbread white cracker name, Naturally.
Yeah.
I'm Naturally.
You never forgot about that. Damn.
That's Natalie. Yeah, that's
I like Jovita.
Yeah.
I like Jovita more like Naturally.
Natalie sounds like Spanish or French or something.
I remember
it's foreign.
This came about
It's
the
like
time
French.
when Keith was asking me about if my ancestors were, if they
Evil.
were good people
You
or
said they were evil.
I said they were evil.
You say they are rotting in hell.
No,
Kid, you remember her saying that they are evil and they are rotting in hell. That is what you say.
Let me explain my shit.
I think you said that, Spice. Good God.
Let me explain my thing. And I said I consider them as evil because when you come back to the African traditional, as I said, most of us, we have been named with the English names where you are given maybe the English names where like if you are given the traditional names, you're like, if I give you a traditional name, you're going to be like your grandma, she was a witchcraft. Or if I give him your grandpa's name, he was like, a night runner. So I consider not getting the traditional names from Natalie because I was like, yo, if I'm given this traditional name, I'm going to sound like my grandma if she was a witchcraft. So I consider let me explain. Okay, so I was like, from the beginning, before I knew the whole thing about the African history or me as an African person, I was like, I considered this particular name, not knowing that my African name was really important to me. That is why I was like, I'd choose Natalie instead of maybe Moi.
But you're not the only one on the chat. You know, you also do have for Razi. Razi is like an Indian name. I don't know what Razi is doing with the Indian name.
I know, but later on I came to realize that my African name really matters because it connects with my ancestors and my history, which I didn't really know. Because remember, we're not taught this in education. Our parents do not even know much about this because still remember there is the indoctrination which disconnects you from your true self. That is why I thought so. That is
some people like to ask what's in a name. I don't know what people think about on the chat. Well, what's in a name? If I call you bread, or if I call you ugali, or if I call you what some people might what's in a name.
I wanna be honest, Kate. Let me just be honest, okay, with you, Spikes and Kate, okay? You growing up, like. If you see a person being given an African name, it sounds like, kuna ili jino here. There's that kind of a name you hear, you're like, ew, you're like, ew, because that is when you speak about one of the things that needs to, like, stop dividing us, which is tribalism, because you have the tribalism thing, where you are like, I'm a Kikuyu, I'm a Luo, so if you call Wanjiko, you call, Njeri, if I'm called Moi, or maybe, maybe some Luo name. I'm like, I have a difference. Like, she's Kikuyu, I'm a Luo, I'm a Kamba. So there's that thing that makes you like, there's the name that makes you.
But even the confusion gets even more worse because, for example, for me, I know myself, my parents are both from the same community. But now, if someone like Zobi, her parents are from different communities, it even gets now the confusion gets even worse. Because tribalism right here now, you would say, okay, I'm coming from this Kamba, I'm also coming from this other area, and gets crazy. So what does your name mean? That is from General Mosquito, and of course...
Whose name?
I don't know if it's Natalie.
It's for me, if it is for Jobida, I say from the word go. If it is from Jobida, I said it is not even in Google itself. I don't know what it really means. I tried asking my parents, I don't know what it means. But I'm proud of my name. Being honest, I'm proud of my name. I'm proud of my name.
Simona, you're asking, what? Are you talking to me, mate? I was listening. I actually happened to listen to. There was some place I was passing by, and I happened to listen to. Yesterday there was a commentary on a football match, and then one of the guys was actually black. I think he was from maybe from the UK or somewhere. And then I kept on listening, and someone told me this guy is also black, and he was telling me he's trying to get into the scene, and he's commentating, and his accent was a bit too much. But anyway. Are you talking to me, mates? That is a General Mosquito question.
I don't know. So if it is between Natalie
no, he's saying
and
it's to everyone. It's to everyone, not to you. But Kid, also let me also get to engage you in terms of getting African unity. What do you think is the biggest? What is the biggest, like the tool, not even a tool, but the biggest resource that we can use as an African people to connect? What can be used? Some people say fashion, some people say music, some people say this is what can connect us. Music with.
I say music and also understanding that you must be respectful of one another. The African is disrespectful to one another. They respect everybody else. They respect the Asians. They respect the European. They respect the East Indian. But they do not respect one another.
I agree with you. That is why you were saying on the queue that you are in Tanzania. They would rather give. They would rather have the Indian come up and jump the queue, and no one would say anything.
Yeah, they were crazy on me fight for that. They were crazy on me when I told that Indian I beat him an inch of his life.
You're going to knock him out like Joby knocked out Kitty. That's the way you would have knocked him out. That is when they feared, and they had to tell you, calm down, brother. That's an Indian. Calm down, brother. You know that's an Indian. You have to respect the Indian. You know the Indian is much better than us.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I do believe one of the things that we need to do is lose that tribalism. Another axiom of African unity for me, I think it has to be also to do with the understanding of our own culture. Every people, you have been taught about about African history and African culture, but it has always been in the narration or in the way it has been explained to you by other people. People do not even focus on how it is with your own people. You read about African history on European books. So if you're reading about African history in the European context, then it will not even help you in any way. That is what has been happening with the larger part of the curriculums on the continent. People will tell you about what has been happening with African unity, African culture. They will tell you about Egypt, but it's being told from a perspective or from the point of the Mzungu in Europe. And then they'll tell you this is what used to happen in Egypt. The Arabs were enslaving people.
Exactly. And it has nothing to do with it.
It has nothing to do with it. But now you take it because you don't have your own books. You don't have your own history. You don't have your own reference point.
And also remember, the original Arabs are black, not the white people you see.
True. Yeah, I agree with you. But right now, if you talk about the Arabs, I was having a conversation also on Saturday after we finished the show, and I was trying to just tell people what's going on with different things. And someone was arguing, saying, "Oh, the Arabs then what happened to them, and why are they white?" All these sorts of questions. But anyhow, and I was telling them how come they are only at the top? If you also do your own thinking, how come they are only at the top in those Arabian, the Algerian, Morocco, and Egypt? They would have been everywhere else if they have always been white. Then if the place had already
exactly
would have them all over Africa. Would not have them at the top there. So you can see exactly the entry point. Yeah.
Exactly right, Spike. Brought it all over Africa. So as you why they got all over Africa, It's like saying that they don't even know if the original Hebrews are black.
Mm.
They don't know, so you're talking to somebody like that's ignorant again. They don't even know that they're sure the white people in Israel said those are the Hebrews, those white people.
They're chosen.
You out of your rabbit ass mind? Yes, you are.
And why would they all also choose two people, choose one group of people, and then it also doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you ought to be chosen, you are the chosen people of the world, and you go around with your small hearts, then why would you have to be chosen over everyone else? Because you all created by the same the all, and then you are part of the all, and then but you're chosen. This is just a narrative that has been pushed, and people have bought into the
because that's bullshit.
Yeah,
but God hasn't chosen people, and so the Hebrews would be. If that was the case, it'd still be black people because the black people were Hebrews, right? The black people were Hebrews, not any Zungu. They are people that converted to a religion, right? They converted to a religion.
I think I see
right.
Paul Raj is saying traditional African names often have unique stories behind them.
Yeah.
So Paul Raj, I don't know about your traditional African name, but or whatever story lies behind your African name. And also John Musi is saying, yes, you are right, Paul. And also Shepo Simono says, are you talking up to me, mates? I think that was an answer question.
I agree.
Sepo means hope and trust. I would really also hope that and trust that Sepo has my earphones. You know, I was just trying to get to South Africa, get a hold of my earphones right there, and I just with that. But it means hope and trust. But also, General Mosquito, I don't know what
African Ike,
is it Ike? General Mosquito, Ike coffee. What does Ike coffee mean?
It is a Nigerian name.
No, it's not Nigerian. It's Ghanaian. It's a Ghanaian. It's West African. It's an African name. It's just an African name.
Okay. Yeah. But I'd love to agree with that, Paul Raj, because when you relate to the African names, still, when you go back to the culture of the African society or the African traditionals, it's whereby you as an African person, it's like Njeri, you know, you have like a meaning out of Njeri, right? So like if you are given the name Njeri, then you grow up like with Njeri, or like, you know, there's what it means. Then if you dig like beyond or rather above your ancestors, like, you know, what it really means. Kuna vile wanasemanga, like there's how they say like these names means like this, or maybe it was occurred from your ancestors used to do this. So personally, you know, relating still with the story, so I agree with Poraj.
I think Poraj has a good meaning to that. But we almost went in our family. I do think we wanted to get talk in-depthly about the matter of how we can connect as African people, but this will need more time. But nonetheless, I just wanted to give a big up everyone for joining us on the show.
Why are we quitting so fast?
No, I'm setting up the video. I'm putting up the video right after this, so you can have it, family, and we shall also share it with us on the African Today Show. I'm just sending it up after this, so we shall also have it on the African Today Show, and you can see how Katie got knocked out, so that you can witness for yourself and be your own judge.
You're getting way too personal.
Yeah. No, she's getting way too personal because she's getting too like.
I wasn't knocked
out. We shall be good with that as well. We shall set it up as well, and we shall be on here with the African Today Show as we continue. But yes, we had an interesting time. And Kid, I agree with you. People did have too much fun, and we were jamming, but we will just share that video, and the family can also get to see.
That's what you said. It's like it was fun, but it wasn't content. You had no people singing. You had all I seen was one guy rapping who was pretty good, and one girl who was kind of terrible. She wasn't okay. That girl was horrible.
They did. We have almost everyone on there, but we shall be drawing the whole video so that the family can also chime in and see that. Nonetheless, family, thank you so much. General Mosquito was with us.
How many people did you have show up? Like you had nobody show up, did you?
We did.
There's nobody there.
Let me just put up the full video so they can just get before you make the whole conclusion.
Why you getting out, man? You supposed to be. Why you ain't supposed to pull me up a while ago? You had all day yesterday to get together. Don't get mad at me.
Yesterday,
I'm just telling you.
Yesterday, I was just relaxing because the whole day on Saturday was hella hectic and
that's your fault.
Yeah,
that's your fault. Don't get mad at me because we ain't seen nothing, but all we seen was all we see is Joby doing the halfway singing, and then I laugh and said, "Kate, you got knocked out." I laughed at that.
No, we'll just put up the whole video after this, and we shall find out with us. But nonetheless, family, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Sister Donna C was on with us for a minute, but let's put up the whole.
I didn't get mad at us because that thing was a mess.
Let's put up the video, then we shall also see what's good with that.
Look the video this time. I don't take another 3 days.
If it's not any good, no. Just right after this. If it's not any good, Sister Donna C, let me know. If it's not any good, as General Musi also do let me know and share us more.
Be honest.
Please let us know. But thank you so much. We want to thank everyone, and let's Katie has a closing remark and Joby.
I want to appreciate everyone who has joined us today on the broadcast. We appreciate you. Jerome Mosquito, we also have Seppo, we also have Paul Raj all the way from Zambia. We appreciate you, Manze. We are a big fan of yours. We appreciate you for taking your time and joining us on today's broadcast, and of course giving your sentiment.
And you guys play some of his music?
Yeah, we do play his music.
Yeah.
I want to be before Joby gets done with her last call. I want to do my quote real quick. I want to Katie, as we say in America, I want Katie to check her chin. They said when you get knocked out, you got to do a chin check.
Sorry, what? You do a what? Chin check? Chin check.
Check her chin. Check her chin. You know, when you get knocked out, you get hit in the chin. So she got to do a chin check, make sure chin is all right.
It is. I believe if she puts up all the way up, then it's all good with that. You just hold it up and you will be alright. But nonetheless, family, I think you have a closing remark.
Thank you, family. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's show. Thank you for